Hello and welcome. This filter is very, very strong. Let's see, I can try a different one. Is that any better? Maybe we should just go with no filter. There. I think that's no filter. All right, well, welcome and hello to this week's weekly Knit Chit Chat. This is where we just hang out and we chat and we talk about knitting. And if you're new around here, if you don't know who I am Jessica, the knitting pattern designer and design mentor behind Snickerdoodle Knits and the Design Circle. And hello. Excited to see you. Happy Friday. I host this call every Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern time, just so we have a chance to connect and talk. And the replays are always available both on my Instagram account and on YouTube. So what have you been up to this week? If you're watching the replay, feel free to comment and share in the comments. Tell me about how your week's been, what you've been working on, all of those things. So, goodness. Feels like this week has been a big week. There's been a lot going on here at Snickerdoodle Knits. So where do I start? Chronologically, maybe? So, the last time we chatted, of course, was last Friday. And what you didn't know, because I wasn't really comfortable sharing, was that my spouse was gone for the weekend. His grandfather passed away, so he had to leave for the funeral. But I'm pretty sure it was only the second time that I've been alone since we got married, almost 6 years ago. Usually I'm the one who leaves him. So I had the weekend here by myself, and I had a million plans for what I thought I was going to get done. And spoiler, or I don't know what the word is. Basically, that didn't happen. I saw the weather report and wasn't as excited about hanging out in the garden and getting lots of stuff done outside. And then I ran some errands and got caught up in planning for a big trip that we have coming up. So that was important. It was good. But I basically spent all of Saturday planning for this trip. And then Sunday, basically went shopping, was with some friends. And so that was my exciting weekend by myself with all my freedom. Not that, I'm not free. Anyway, and then this week, I feel like there's just been lots of exciting things happening. So there have been a couple more people hopping on live. Thanks for joining. Let me know what's been happening with you this week. And or share 3 words to describe how your week's been. So at the beginning of the week, I recorded podcast episodes. So 3 podcast episodes. I already had recorded the trailer and an episode with Kinsey of Feel Good Social last week. So now I have officially submitted the podcast to nearly all of the places. Some places accepted it right away. Some have to review it. And of course, Apple Podcasts is the one that's being annoying. Which is where I usually listen to podcasts. So what happened is that, you had to have an Apple ID to then create a podcast. So I decided I wanted to create an account specifically for my business stuff to keep it all under my business email, which is all great, but now it's saying that my ID isn't active and I can't figure out what else I need to do to make it active. But the cool thing is you should be able to go at least to like Spotify. There were a bunch of other places that I didn't recognize. Spotify, though, for sure should have the Pattern Design Circle podcast up now, which is really cool. And I have 3 episodes and the trailer all uploaded there. So that's exciting. And then another big project I've been working on this week is the Kickstarter campaign for the book collaboration. So if you haven't heard about it yet, the inside of the design circle, there's several of us designers that are working together to create our own publication. So it'll be a periodical with issues released every season. So we've planned out the first 4 issues for next year. We know who we want to collaborate with. We've chosen all of our yarns and colors and designs and all of the things. So I think we have 15 designers, 23 designs, 4 issues. Anyway, but what happened was that when we finished up doing all of our financial analysis, the cost for it is prohibitive. So because it's all run by us designers, of course it's funded by us designers. And so most designers wouldn't be able to put in the proper amount of funding to actually make it happen. So what we're doing is we're running a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter, and it should be up very soon, like hopefully within the next week, probably the end of next week, if everything goes well. But that's been a big thing that I've been working on. So the book is all about, or the series, the publication forever, is all about collaboration and like connection and supporting each other and all of that. And that's really what the design circle is all about as well. Designers supporting each other and lifting each other up. And something that I think is really interesting about this book is because it's funded by the designers then have direct access to all of the profits from it. So what that means is that a lot of times in publications, well, obviously the publisher needs to be paid, and they want some profit. But a lot of times they pay the designers a lump sum, so just a flat rate. It doesn't matter how well the publication does or doesn't do, which of course reduces risks for the designers, but I think it also reduces the amount of money that the designers could receive. So with this, it's fully funded by the designers, and then the profits go directly to the designers and split up evenly among all the designers. So that's something, of course, I've been working on for about 2 months, like solid now. Idea that's been percolating for over 6 months. But it's actually happening, and so it's super exciting. We've been working on a bunch of the graphics, like mock-up cover of the issue, making all of the style decisions and things like that, and then of course writing all of the copy and just figuring out how to share the idea with everybody so that it makes sense and really drives home what our purpose is. So Marie Elyse said 3 words are productive, emotional, and family. Aw, that's so sweet. I hope emotional in a good way, a positive way. But I'm so glad you've had family with you. I know you mentioned yesterday that you had a full house. And yeah, I'll definitely keep you posted. Kind of good. I'm glad to hear. It's in a good way. Yeah, I'll definitely keep you posted on the book. I'll be talking more and more about it. The hard thing right now is that it's kind of hard to have a launch date because we do have to wait for Kickstarter to review the campaign. So it's a matter of do we just pick a date farther out to launch it and start announcing that? Or do we just let folks know that it's coming and let them know as soon as it's been reviewed and accepted. And also the other person who's doing all of the admin with me, Beth of Fig and Filament, she works as an architect full-time. And so her part that she's doing, she's only able to do nights and weekends. So yeah, it also depends just how much she's able to fit in as well. But yeah, that's the Kickstarter campaign. We've been throwing names around. Currently the idea is inTANDEM, and I can put it in the comments here, because the idea is that it's like the lowercase in and then uppercase tandem. Just like all about collaboration and working together, because not only are we working together as designers to create a whole cohesive product, but we're also each year collaborating with a different yarn company. So every 4 issues, every 4 seasons, we'll be with the same yarn company, and then we'll work with another yarn company. So yeah, I'm glad you love that. Oh goodness, I feel like I could just keep talking about that forever. But what else has been happening? Earlier in this week, also I don't know if you saw in my stories, I finally got some decor up on my office wall that's behind me when I'm doing Zoom calls and all of this stuff, mostly with the design circle, but now also the podcast. It was a white wall like this, but there's 2 closet doors on each side. Well, one's a closet door, one's the door to the room. Anyway, now there's actually stuff there. There's my whiteboard I got hung, and then I have some hooks with my shawls on them, and then my artificial plant is sitting there too. But now I have stuff behind me, so now I just have to work on this area. I had tried to do an artificial plant like right here, and it just wasn't working. So I think I'm just gonna have to do wall art. But it is interesting, like what is in frame here versus what would work well overall on the whole wall, things like that. We'll see. But that's my next decor project probably. I finished my secret design, which is my first time working with a third-party publisher myself. So that's really exciting. I finished the knitting of the sample. So the writing of it will be pretty simple. And then but I still need to block it and write it, send it to testers, and get it to the yarn the third party. So that's really exciting. It'll be coming out later this year. Yeah, yay. So yeah, like I said, it feels like there's so many big things happening this week. The podcast, the Kickstarter, wrapping up the pattern, just feels like it's been a week of like tying in a bunch of loose ends, which is such a good feeling. And I always have to write my notes of what I did this week, because otherwise I never remember. What I actually do before these calls is I go through my Instagram stories to see what I've talked about, to remember what I've done. Yeah, so I started, I don't know if you remember, I applied for and was accepted for the test knit for these socks, the Daily Slipper Socks by S.Knits, and I casted them on and started working on them this week during a call. What I'm doing is I'm holding Patton's Croy yarn. Oh, I don't even have I took the labels off of them, because I always pull from the outside. So I've been holding it double to create, it's supposed to be DK weight. But my gauge is definitely, I'm like pretty certain too large because my ankles are probably not that much bigger than my wrist, and there's a whole lot of extra fabric. So I have not gauge swatched, but my main concern is I don't think I can go down too many more needle sizes to really make a difference. I think the problem is the thickness of the yarn. So I think that my yarn held double is too thick for the gauge. And so in that case, I'm gonna have to figure out another solution. Marie Elyse, are you asking if I like the pattern or the yarn? Because the pattern I haven't gotten too far on. It starts in the, with the cuff, I shouldn't say obviously, but I was just talking about my ankle. So it starts with the cuff. It's my first time doing a cuff down sock. But so far I've only done the ribbing, so it's super simple. As far as the Patons Croy, I feel like it's pretty decent. Granted, I don't have like super expensive yarn tastes because I used to only, work from clearance yarn from Michael's. So I've done a lot of loops and threads and Lion brand and all of that kind of yarn, but it doesn't feel like stiff or I haven't noticed anything that's really made me upset about it. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how much different the cuff down is from the toe up, because that's what I'm used to. But I also think in general this sock, so you said both the sock and the pattern, or the pattern and the yarn. I think the sock should be pretty simple because it's basically just ribbing through the whole sock. So anyway, it'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure it's due in like a week, 20 something, and it's currently the 15th. So that also reminds me, today is my aunt's birthday and I have not texted her. I was going to text her early this morning and then she's in a different time zone, so I was afraid it was going to be too early. And now it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't texted her. Yeah, so what have you been working on, Marie Elyse, lately? I'm assuming you're the one person still on. Yep. What have you been knitting on? That's what I've been knitting on because I can't show you my secret design. Another thing, I did bring this project here, which I haven't ever shown on these calls because this was something I was working on last fall and kind of gave up on for a while. So the idea is I want to create a shawl that has like this motif on it, but it is stranded color work, and I did not want to have to deal with purling color work and all of that. So I decided what I was going to do was work it in the round and then steek it. So this is just like me playing around trying to figure out if it was going to work. And I'm not loving it because I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's single ply yarn, but it just doesn't show the motif as well as I would like. Part of it also could be the contrast of the yarn, but I think a lot of it has to do with the single ply yarn. It's just not as strong as I want. Anyway, so what I realized was that this actually might be really good for mosaic knitting, which I have not done a lot of, but if I can recreate the motifs so that they work with mosaics, that would work really well. So what mosaic knitting is, if you're not familiar with it, is you only work one color at a time and then you slip the stitches that are not that color. So you're working, like one row you would work the purple and slip all of the gray, and the next row you do exactly the same thing. You Like so like you'd work the purple this way, slip the gray. You would then work the purple back this way, and you'd knit the purples, or you'd purl the purples because it would be a wrong side row, and then slip the grays. And then when you come back for the third row, you then work the grays and slip the pearls. And then fourth row is the wrong side for the gray, so you work the grays back and slip the pearls. Anyway, so if I can rewrite this, I think that might be what will happen, because I decided basically it was going to be too big of a project for knitters, just overkill for a shawl to work it in the round, and working the color work in the round with the small circumference and knowing that you're moving up in size is also kind of annoying. And then also steeking for a shawl seemed like it wasn't maybe worth it. So I might be trying that at some point. But I think it was just this last Saturday on the design along call, that I realized that actually might be a good idea. So yeah, we're continuing the design along inside the design circle through this month. It's been a lot of fun. We have calls every Thursday and Saturday, and basically just talking about designing and asking any design questions and all of that. But the really neat part is different folks who are saying that it's been really good accountability for them, because they have so much motivation to be working on these things. They're talking about them, things like that, so they're getting lots done. So that's fun. That's exciting. And because the design along is running all month, I decided to leave doors open for the design circle all month. So if you are a knit or crochet pattern designer looking for community, learning how to grow your business, we have guest speakers, workshops, all sorts of things talking about business and marketing. But we also have a very supportive group of people who love to share their feedback and their tips and all of that kind of thing. We also tend to get worked up talking about pattern prices and getting frustrated over the market, things like that. So it's just funny. Somebody the other day, there was a conversation that people were getting all fired up about. And somebody commented and said, I just love when everybody gets upset about something in here. Or worked up about something. It's probably what she said. But anyway. Marie Elyse said that she's weaving in 1,000,000 ends right now on her first ever scrappy socks. That's fun. Have you ever tried the method where it's like you weave your ends in as you're knitting? So like when you change colors, you weave it into your knitting. I haven't ever done it, but I've heard of it. I don't know that I've had too many knits with that many colors, but also I know that when I am designing something, I don't want to weave in the ends and cut them in case I change my mind, and I don't want all those ends that I have to deal with. So, and you'll be casting on the Motherstory Shawl today. That's so fun. From Casey Knitting Co. Casey Knitting Co. is Carol, and if you missed it yesterday, I had her on Instagram Live just to talk about all of the things. We talked about, oh goodness, we talked about so many things. What I did was I started off the conversation by asking her to describe herself with 3 words. And that started me on some, my hair is annoying me here. That started me on some tangents outside of the questions I was going to ask, but it was really good. She is a therapist, so we talked about different topics around mental health and like the obsessive nature of, addictive nature of this craft and social media, things like that. We talked about how she got into designing. We talked about some of her designs. She has a new design coming out next week. Her design process and her hobbies outside of designing and all the things. Anyway, So if you haven't watched it yet, that replay is available on both my Instagram and it will be on my YouTube. It's not yet, but I have it loaded up. I just have to add the description and all those things. So Marie Elyse said it was such a great chat. I'm so glad you liked it. Thank you. You haven't tried weaving in your ends as you go yet, but you want to try it when socks will be for me and these are not. That makes sense. Yes. That is a good point. All right. What else? Oh, okay. So, also this week, inside the design circle, it seems like there's always stuff happening inside of the design circle, but we had, I was our guest speaker. I was going to say we had a guest speaker yesterday. I was the guest speaker yesterday, and I talked all about growing and cultivating your email list. It was kind of fun because I didn't have to worry about keeping to the hour limit, so I could answer more questions and things like that. So that was fun. And then of course we have our design along calls this week and the book collaboration, and we have settled on a date for this month's workshop. So each month we have a workshop that is more collaborative, I guess is the best way to describe it, but it's live. So the guest speakers are live, but it's primarily a conversation between myself and the guest speaker. Folks are welcome to chime in questions in the chat during the call, and then at the end they can unmute themselves. But the workshop is more of a conversation between everybody. So it's about a given topic, and folks bring their questions, things they're struggling with, and anybody else who has tips and ideas and suggestions comes and shares that. And then it's a lot of bouncing ideas off of each other and trying to really figure out what's going to work for each person individually. So that's fun. This month, every time I try to say month, I say week, and every time I mean to say week, I say month. So anyway, this month, our topic is about brand pillars and containers, which is like the topics that you choose to talk about inside of your business. And we've scheduled that now. So it will be next Friday. And then the only other thing I was going to mention from this week, which actually I think happened last week or started last week, is that some of the Design Circle members have started a scrunch along. So if you like scrunchies for your hair, they have free patterns that they're knitting and crocheting, I think. It should be crochet too, based on who's running it. So they have free knit and crochet scrunchy patterns, and you can knit along with them. I don't remember the dates for sure, but it's hosted by Izza, who is at the Knit Savvy, or at is the handle sign, like on Instagram. So the Knit Savvy, Ruth Brush, and Fick and Filament are the 3 designers if you want to check it out. I can also, I'll tag them in the description for this video, but so Marie Elyse, I am curious if you want to hop on and show us your scrappy socks and your finished design. So a couple weeks ago, Marie Elyse joined us live and showed us the socks she was working on that are her first design. And since then, she has finished them. And I know they were in test knitting. I don't remember how long they're in test knitting. But if you'd like to share either or both, give you a minute. Okay, no worries. I can do that. I did bring my infinity scarf that I've been working on slowly but surely. I kind of got to the point of the lace and I haven't written it out yet, so I haven't been working on it. But before that, it was basically what I was working on for all of my calls. So I I think I was working on it last week. So I don't think you've seen all of this progress yet, but I could be wrong. So this is the In a Mood Infinity Scarf. It's based off of the In a Mood Shawl, which is all about having a create your own adventure shawl where there are 4 stitch motifs you get to choose from. You can knit all of them if you want. You can choose which you knit, and you can choose when you knit them. Garter drop stitches, garter rib inside out, and then there's the simple lace. And so this is the same idea. For my sample, I decided to basically separate the motifs. And mine is going to wrap around 3 times. So now I've started the blue-green again. And yeah. But then of course, like, the instructions are completely customizable. So you can knit as long as you want, make it as long as you want, change colors as often as you want, all of that kind of thing. All right, Marie Elyse is ready. I think I accepted it. Yes.
Hi.
Hello. They're saying hello too.
Right. I'm back. It's because they've been sleeping for an hour. And now you invited me on, so now
Yes.
I am so close to this. This is so, yeah. This is my big Django. Yeah, I have Django and Kenobi. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
My husband is coming to pick him up. There you go. All right. So you wanted to see my scrappy socks? I'm so sorry, my dear.
Yeah.
All right. So the scrappy socks and my camera, nothing is cooperating, but these are my scrappy socks.
Oh, they're so cute. They're so fun.
These are the, I'm knitting these with just the leftovers from Tippy Tree from her advent calendar.
Oh, yes.
And it's really lovely. So I love the colors, and I'm going to make some for all my family members.
Aw, that's sweet. So then are they going to be matching?
Yes, they are. This is the last end.
So close.
I counted. I had 64 ends to weave in.
Oh my goodness.
It was not fun at all. But I'm really enjoying the process of the scrappy socks, and I'm really enjoying trying to be more intentional with my yarn. So that's one of the reasons I loved your chat with Carol.
Yeah.
Intentional, and I'm trying to be intentional about the yarn I'm using and the projects I'm doing. And I know all my children really appreciate this, especially my 2 girls and my daughter-in-law. They really appreciate repurposing and reusing, not leaving anything aside. So I think everybody will love these stockings at Christmas.
Yeah. So did you just do a plain stockinette kind of your own recipe, or did you follow a pattern?
I followed a pattern from a New Brunswick designer you might know. Her company is Twin Stitches Designs.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, Le Boutier. So she is, and she just has a scrappy sock recipe. So I checked it out. I love that she gives approximate yardages for so many rows, and it just kind of allows you to plan a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that. I don't want to I don't want to take up too much of your time, but
no, you're good.
The Motherstory Shawl.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just the 2 of us, so I feel like I'm just chatting with you.
Yes, I think you're the only one on live, so
So
Yep.
I'm using another indie yarn dyer from Canada. The name of the company is Shirley Bryan Yarns. She is here in Ontario, and she makes, in particular, she's really well known for her fades. She makes amazing fades, but I'm not using her fades. I'm using yarn that I've had for since I started knitting 2 years ago. She's like the first indie dyed yarn that I picked up. And I was drawn to her colors, but I was drawn to the names of the yarn. And this one is called Stronger in All the Broken Places.
Aww.
And I love that, and I love that message, and it reminded me of my mom, so I'm going to use that. And these are 3 complementary colors that I'm going to use with it.
So fun.
So, yeah, which I totally picked apart some sock sets. Again, trying to be a little intentional in looking at Carol's design. She wrote a little bit about why she wrote the Motherstory Shawl, how she designed it, and what was her mindset behind it. And it really made me think of my mom, who passed away almost 12 years ago now. And that's why I picked these. So it's just fun.
That's sweet. Yeah.
I love the one that you're working on. I love your new design. I love the idea of the mosaic knitting.
Oh, the purple and gray one?
Yes.
I actually, that's one I had started back in like October, November, and it's been in time. So, I'm not sure when it will actually get done. I just realized that, oh, maybe I can actually make this idea come to life in a way that I actually like.
I think it would work really lovely. It would be really beautiful. I really like it. And,
Yeah,
it's nice sometimes to have a really big contrast, but small contrasts are also really nice. And I think the mosaic knitting would just kind of bring up the contrast just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I think having the double rows will also make it a lot more visible.
I think so too. I think it would look lovely. I really like, because I like the colors that they work together in that design. So yeah, don't give up. I hope it works because I like it.
Thank you. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh yeah, this is the sketch of what I want the whole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think it would be lovely. So I'm crossing my fingers.
Thank you.
I may have to take the dogs out.
All right.
Yes, but it was lovely talking to you.
Yes, thank you for joining. I might end up hopping off pretty soon here because I don't think I have anything else to talk about. But
I think it's Easter. Everybody's just getting ready. Everybody's having company coming, and I think it's going to be just nice for everyone to be able to just have that after so long, not seeing a lot of people. So
yeah, do you still have family there?
Yes, I have my son and my daughter are here. My other daughter will come on Sunday with her wife, and then we'll have my in-laws too. I will take my dogs out. Happy Easter, my dear.
Yes, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to. Can you kick me off?
Yeah, I can. All right, that was fun. I'm really loving having folks join live. I mean, not only does it mean that I need less content to talk about, but oh no, don't worry, it's okay. Marie Elyse said, "Sorry about the dogs." That's life. I'm trying to figure out why this is so yellow now, but anyway, I've really been enjoying having you guys come on live with this because not only does it mean I don't have to fill the full 60 minutes by myself, but I feel like it's really meeting the purpose of these calls. The purpose is to be able to connect more with you and to feel like it's like a more of a personal connection, and yeah, just a more genuine connection than just the Instagram posts and stories and things like that. So thanks to everybody who's joined live and joined live and talked in the comments, but also joined live on the video. So I really do appreciate it. And if you ever hop on at 4 o'clock Eastern time on a Friday, usually I start the guests around 4:30. I usually am able to fill the first 30 minutes, but if you ever hop on live, I would absolutely love to have you join as well. And I know that I was gonna say nobody is on live, but now my mom's on. Hi Mom, I was just getting ready to wrap up and sign off, but I hope you're having a good day. I was saying earlier that I still haven't texted Katie and told her happy birthday yet. Anyway, I guess that will be all. If you celebrate any of the holidays this weekend, I hope you have a wonderful time with that. I know a lot of people are going to be with their families, so I hope you enjoy that. And I hope you just take care of yourself. And as always, remember you're on your own journey. You get to chart it. You get to just choose how it goes. So I hope you enjoy it, and sending big hugs. So I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend, and I will definitely keep you updated with all the exciting things happening.